And now, if you want to find him, then I actually have nothing much to teach you except how to be quiet. And at which time to catch God is the best, which is the hour. We can make a rendezvous with him every day. And then at that exact time, he will appear. And then when we are so acquainted with him, he will appear anywhere, anytime, any hour. And we are so acquainted with him that even others will see God in us also, or near us, standing by. That is so good. And then this so-called God power will flow out like an ocean, like a stream, and benefit anyone that comes nearby. Like a sandalwood tree, and makes all trees around it become fragrant, like sandalwood. Like a perfume shop, anyone who comes in smells the nice fragrance, free of charge. And sometimes you go to a perfume shop, the shopkeeper will give you a free spray, and you come out, you also feel so nice. Yeah. It is the same with a self-realized soul. He emits a kind of godly fragrance and a super mundane virtue that everyone would love to be near, and everyone will feel naturally comfortable with. Also the same with the master, so-called master, or Buddha, or Christ. They do not actually save any beings. They do not do any particular gestures or have any intention to catch a soul and bring it back home. No, they themselves are the magnets. They just attract. They cannot help it. Even if they want to stop it, it's too late. Even if they want to stop giving our blessing and happiness and joy to the surrounding people, they cannot do it anymore. It's too late. It's just like a fountain. It has to keep running and running. It's just like the ocean. It has to keep being full like that. However much rain comes down, the ocean will not become more full. However much the sun shines on it, the ocean will not become less full. It is forever like that. So all of us can become the same like Buddha and Jesus. Now the Buddha say, saving sentient beings, but doesn't save sentient beings. No one is being saved by the Buddha. Although everyone, at that time, his disciples say they are saved by him. But he said that he didn't save anyone. That is the meaning of a natural power, which flows spontaneously and naturally from a highly self-realized soul, from a master soul, to benefit others, without him having to control doing anything on purpose. And that is what it means by saving sentient beings, but not saving sentient beings. Because if they still have a sense of saving anyone, that means they are not completely liberated from the ego, from the self-centered sense of existence. They are not yet completely liberated from the frame of the human self. So they cannot do this universal work. They cannot contain the limitless, endless, boundless, infinite power of God if they still have a sense of self. Because the sense of self limits everything. And then you cannot contain the limitless if you are limited. And that is the logic of it. So in order to become a co-worker with God, or a master, or the master soul, you must become limitless like that. And in order to become limitless, we have to practice self-losing. So in the Bible it is say, one who sacrifices the self will gain everything. Something like that. I mean, maybe my translation is not correct. One who loses the self will gain everything. One who takes care of the self will lose everything. Is it not so similar? Yes, that is what it means. Lose the self means losing the ego, the sense of limited being, becoming one with the universe. But it is easier. Say, than done. To be so, to be such a limitless and boundless being, one must practice the ever-present power of God. And one must reserve some time daily to contact with this word, with God's word, and it was God's word, or with the name you cannot name, or with the vibration or the sound stream in the Buddhist terminology. They all spoke of the same thing. If we want to reach the same height as the ancient masters, we have to follow the same path as theirs. That is only simple. So simple is that. It is like everyone who wants to become a doctor, then they have to follow the medical university way of teaching and follow the previous doctors that can teach you, and you become a doctor. So if you want to become like Christ or Buddha, then we have to practice the same method like Christ or Buddha. We have to contact the inner flame, the inner thunderous voice of God. And this way, I can offer you gladly and freely, free of all kinds of bondage, all kinds of conditions, all kinds of financial, physical, mental commitment. Only your devotion is needed. Your devotion to your own practice. Every day you must practice. By your own time, schedule and arrangement, and by your own free will. And that is all that is needed. Now, I think the time is nearly over. I reserve some time for you to ask questions. Anything you want to ask concerning my lecture, concerning how to meditate, concerning the initiation, any doubt, anything, any skeptical ideas, you may ask without reserve. You don't need to even write your name if you fear others knowing. We don't read your name out. Just your ideas. Will you please write down on a piece of paper? Or you don't want to write? Because if you ask from over there, I cannot hear clearly.
What is stealing?
What is what?
What is stealing? Steal something from someone.
Stealing.
That's right.
Oh, yes. You don't know? Whatever that is not belonging to us, and we take it without permission or prior asking, that is stealing. Be it a grass or a needle. And even talking too much is stealing. Stealing people's time and energy. You know this kind of stealing very well. Some friend phone you and they talk for hours and you just cannot stop it. And you get exhausted, and out of politeness and compassion, you just listen. Yes. And you don't know what they're talking about because it's so boring. That is also stealing, yes. We should devote time to know God instead of talking about useless topics.
What is the Guanyin method, the inner sound?
Yes, it is like this. When you are yourself open to receive God's blessing, then it will come. So this method is actually God's blessing, it's not mine. Only when your minds are open and completely surrender and want to receive, then you can get this method. The method is without words. And when we transmit the method, we don't talk. And then you will get the inner vibration. You will hear it, but without these ears. And you will see the light of God or the heavens abodes without the eyes. And that is what the method offers, not what the method is. Because the method, I cannot speak it by language. I can only transmit it to you in complete silence. That's why we call the transmission from heart to heart or from mind to mind. Yeah.
How does the inner sound bring you to liberation?
Because the inner sound is God. If you know the sound, it means you know God. You get nearer to Him, and you coming near God, it means you get away from demons. That's a simple thing. To be near God is to be liberated. Or to be near Buddha, to become a Buddha, it means to be a liberated soul, to be free from bondage, to be free from birth and death. That means liberation. But there is another more concrete way. When you get transmission, you immediately transcend death. And that is what's called liberation. Yesterday, I gave transmission to about 30-something persons. And some of them have experienced the death experience. That's what is called born again. Except, thou be born again, thou shalt not enter the kingdom of God. So what is born again? Or I die daily. Like one of the Catholic saints, I die daily. What is it by dying daily? We are living, and he said he's dying. He said he's dying 100 times daily. That means dying while living. You die, but you don't die. You just transcend the limit of death, and then you live forever. Once the fear of death is transcended, is understood by our own very weak and scared soul, we are forever eternal. We are no more. We are immortal. That's what it means. Yesterday he said when he meditated, just a few seconds or minutes, and he immediately saw the light and the tunnels, the dark tunnels, and inside there's light, and he flowed through it, like sailing on a boat. That's what he said. Now what is that? You have seen on TV and you have read books about the experiences of the near-death person, haven't you? Yes. They have seen this great tunnel, and then they have to flow through it. And then they see the great being of light, and they explain to them that they are dead. But yet their time has not come, and then they have to go back to the earth again. And so some of these persons go home. She says she cried off and on for 2 weeks because she has to leave that wonderful world and come back to this terrible one. Is that not so? Yes, that is the limit between life and death. And some of these persons experience that while they are near death, because they have been some virtuous ones. Therefore, when they die, they come immediately to the region of light. But this region of light is not the highest one, may I tell you. There are some others higher. But these are only kind of the frontier between our world and the other worlds. Just the beginning of the other worlds. The other worlds are higher, limitless spheres of life. And the higher you go, the more speechless you become. And there's nothing to say anymore, nothing to talk about, except someone like Master Qinghai. She likes to convey that to others. And then she couldn't even say much. But yesterday, this man or 2 or 3 men experienced that because they have transcended the limit of life and death. They died and they came back again. They have the same experience as that, recorded by the Dr. So-and-so with many hundreds of near death or death and back again to life patients' experiences. So this is what we call born again, or transcending life and death, or free from life and death. Once you know how to die while living, you will fear no more death, and you know how to do it at any time. And so when your earth time is over, you know it even in advance. Your master will come and tell you, hey, 3 more days, your time is up. Or in a week's time, we will go to another place, so please prepare. And if you owe people money, give it back quickly. Or if your wife is not yet remarried or something, you have to arrange it. Or your children, something, insurance, life insurance, have to take care. It's that kind of things. A master will take care of you in every minute detail after the initiation, and that is his or her job. It's a lot of work, even paperwork, bureaucratic work. But because we live in this world with many complications, the master cannot avoid having to even take care of these, even though his job is not that. But without that, the devotees cannot be free. So we often hear of transcend life and death, be free of life and death, and we don't know what it means. It means exactly just that. at initiation to transcend, and you know what life and death mean, and you have no more fear. Thank you so much. Yeah, question?
What are the different inner sounds?
What are these sounds?
What are the different inner sounds?
Yeah, this I will tell you at the time of initiation. Okay?
After one has experienced nirvana and or enlightenment, is it difficult to attain mastery over one's energy body?
Master what?
Mastery, M-A-S-T-R-Y, mastery. Okay. Is it difficult?
That's why yesterday I wanted to read, because my... to attain mastery. Is it difficult to attain mastery over one's energy body? No. Why? God bless you. Thank you. Yeah, I thank you too. God bless you. No, it isn't.
Okay.
It is easy to gain control over one's energy body because one has attained enlightenment. That's the purpose of it. If we couldn't control our psychic or energy or light body, then what's the use of enlightenment? That we are out of control, we're even worse off than before. So maybe this may happen if you have incompetent masters, or if you practice it yourselves from bookshelf, from bookshelf self-realization authors and things like that. It is a little bit dangerous. Yes, sure. Therefore, some people who practice themselves or have incompetent masters, they became mentally deranged. Yeah, is this true? Yeah, I understand now. Yeah, possessed. Yes. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes possessed by the demons. Sometimes by self-disturbance. Because they couldn't handle so much released psychic energies or a higher order of power. And they're unused to it. They're so amateur, so childish, they cannot know what to do with it. Therefore, they become out of order. Yeah. So it is better to practice with a competent master. That's the reason why we should have a master. Otherwise, there's no need. If the master doesn't need to transmit it personally, then he couldn't even write books and sell them. Become famous, #1 bestseller by Times or New York Times or whatever that is. Yeah, it's even more comfortable. Yeah, you sit at home and you write books and become bestsellers, and every time get income.
Does the dog have Buddha nature? Dog.
Oh, how boring, no? It is like this. In the Chan, so-called Zen or Chan word, people invented so many so-called methods. After the Buddha's nirvana, everybody became masters overnight. So, and then lacking real power, they just invented any kind of dog's nature. Like, does the dog person have nature? And then it became like a koan. You know that? Koan means a question you have to ask yourself, and ask until your head broken or whatever, your brain explodes. And if you haven't found it, then you must die with shame. Before, there were even worse circumstances. In Japan, if a person doesn't know what moo is, then when the master asks and he couldn't answer it, then he has to commit suicide. And at that moment, he might get enlightened, so-called, but most of the time not. And so people die with grief and shame, don't know where it has gone to. We can check though, but it's not very high. Committing suicide for a person is no good. Go into a very dark region. Doesn't matter for what purpose. For a heroic act or whatever, because life is given by God. It's not for us to take away. It's for Him to decide when we live and how. So the person who commits suicide is in a very, very bad realm of his own dark thinking. Understand? He closes himself up in his own prison of dark thinking. Very dangerous. Until this power wear out, billions of years later, he can get liberated. But not very normal liberation. It means he is liberated from that dark region only. But he may incarnate as other beings, maybe lower than human existence. God knows. Now, the question of does the dog person have Buddha nature arose in China after many thousands of years after the Buddha's nirvana. Now people lacking the transmitting of the light, lacking the inner, lineage, what you call 法脉, the lineage of power. Then they just invent anything. So people came to ask them how to practice. And then they would cite any of the ancient masters' talk and tell them to investigate it, to ask themselves. And of course, when you concentrate on one idea or another, it may give rise to some power. You understand? The power of concentration is not to be underrated. But I already told in my book, it doesn't matter how big an intellect. He is still only an intellectual giant, and not a self-liberated, and not a wisdom saint. Intellect belongs to the realm of mind and matter, not soul and God. Because intellect is thinking. And thinking arises from what? From data, from learning, from other people's thinking and brainwashing ideas. Soul and God are natural, spontaneous, self-born, self-existing, self-supporting, self-pure. So anything that is influenced or can be influenced by society, by thinking, by philosophy, by language of any kind is intellect and intelligence, not wisdom. Therefore, if we use language to ask ourselves or to be enlightened somehow, it is still in the intellectual realm and wrestling, some mind wrestling, and it's very tiring. So I do not teach this kind of mind wrestling method because I think we are tired enough of work every day and wrestling with our problems. And no need to go home and sit there cross-legged and rest again. The Buddha, however, never taught this method. I may remind you of this. The Buddha never sat there and asked himself, who am I? What am I? Who am I? What am I? Does the dog person have Buddha nature? Does the dog person have the Buddha nature? Does he really have the Buddha nature? Does he really? He would not do this kind of thing. How did the Buddha become enlightened? Do you know? He has seen the inner realm. He has subdued the inner demons. It means when he saw the inside demons, he subdued them. And when he saw the inside stars, it is recorded that the Buddha, seeing the stars, became enlightened. Now we think we see the stars every day. How come we're not enlightened? That is because he saw the inner stars, not the outer stars. So many of our disciples see the stars, so they also can be called enlightened. Now you may wonder yourself, okay, if you see the inner stars, so what's the big deal about that? It's a big deal. Because it's not seeing the stars that counts. It's what it makes you become, what it makes you feel. The feeling, the wisdom, the way of life all changed after seeing the inner stars. Or after seeing the inner worlds, or the inner realms, or the inner lights, or after hearing the inner sounds. It's not because we like to see the inner stars or hear the inner sounds, but because hearing them, seeing them, make us great, make us wise and saintly, and we become Buddha, become Christ. Therefore, we have to see them. Just like we eat bread and potatoes, and they, in turn, become blood and become our thinking, become our, muscle power. Understand that? Yes, that's it. The inner stars and the sounds are our inner bread, the bread and water of life. So Jesus said, man doesn't live from bread alone. This is what he meant. because the bread and water of life are inside of us.
Why is there so much pain in this world?
Pain.
Suffering.
Because we have no support. We have no enduring power behind us. This power we neglect. We only use our mind, our brain. We don't use God's limitless supply. Therefore, we cannot endure the pressure and the pain in this world, and we feel pain and suffering. If we have that great treasure, great support, this strength, we don't feel that much pain. The pain still exists, it's just that we can bear it. Just like when we were young, when we were a child, if we lifted about 5 pounds sack of rice, we feel it's very heavy, no? We couldn't even walk. But when we grow up, 20 years later, even 50 pounds means nothing. That's the meaning of God power. That's why we have to practice. That's why we have to practice the Guanyin method, to get in touch with this inner limitless supply. Then we don't feel so much pain, so much pressure, and we feel joy ever after. The pain still exists, mind you. I don't mean the pain disappears. But you can bear it. You feel nothing much of importance, that's all.
How do you deal with the fear of letting go of self? Become a selfless egoist?
Oh, I don't remember how I dealt with it. It just naturally goes. By getting in touch with God and merging yourself with God, you just naturally have no more self. Slowly, slowly, the self will go out. And that's it. I don't deal with it. To have to deal with it is a problematic thing because the self is very big. Therefore, you let God deal with it. After practicing this method, you become less and less self. And then you become greater and greater. The less you become, the greater you are. And this is the paradox of God. Because it's not for us to understand.
How do you get rid of bad thinking?
Yeah, it's difficult. Also have to use this power, this inborn power. Have to practice this Guanyin method. Then you naturally become pure. It isn't for us to struggle anymore. Every day we use the light, we use the sound to purify us, to bath us. But also there is a kind of inspection, spiritual diary. Every day you may check yourself to see how cleaner you become each day. In speech, body and mind, to see how you progress.
How do you meditate?
Yeah. How? Of course, everybody already knows how to meditate. It is that only you meditate on the wrong thing. Some meditate on pretty girls. Some meditate on money. Some meditate on business. Every time you pay attention a lot to one thing, one-pointedly and wholeheartedly, that is meditation. And now I pay attention only to the inner power, to the compassion, to the love, to the merciful quality of God. And that is my meditation. But to do so, officially, we should just sit in a quiet corner and be by ourselves. And that is the process of meditation. But it's not by sitting quietly in a corner one gets something. No, 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 no. You have to get in touch with that inner power first. And then that inner power will meditate. Actually, it is like that. So that is called self-awakening. You must awaken the real self inside and let him meditate. Not you, the human brain and the mortal understanding. That power will meditate. He meditates, he awakens himself. He knows how to work now. At the moment you let him sleep and you do everything mechanically with the brain, the order of the brain. So even if you sit down, you think of 1,001 things and you cannot subdue your own passion. But when you self-awaken, the real inner self, the God power within you will control everything, will meditate, will come back to its own self. And that is the real meditation. You only know real meditation after you are awakened by transmission from a real master. Otherwise, it's only a waste of time, mind wrestling, body resting. Only rest your body, but the mind is troubling and fighting. And that is not real meditation.
Is there right? Is there wrong? Any difference?
No, there's no difference. You need to ask me this. If you want to go out and steal another's wife, is that right? If you ask that person's husband, he will say no. And that is not right according to our human society behavior and virtue. What's right, what's wrong, according to the law and according to the human standard, we must observe without any excuse. We do not say, I become one with God, and God has no discrimination. Right is wrong, wrong is right. No, no, no. We don't make this kind of nonsense excuse. Therefore, to practice with me, with this method, I emphasize virtue. One must take to heart to keep the commandments, the 5 principal commandments, like thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not tell lies, thou shalt not drink alcohol or take drugs, any kind that make our minds confused or our body weak, or any kind of so-called films, movies that excite our passions and are no good for our quiet and very calm nature. These all are called drugs, including films, gambling, alcohol. Yeah, this is all drugs. So these 5 commandments I may ask you to keep if you want to join our circle of practitioners. You must not follow me in person. You must not do any service for me. You must not offer me anything except your commitment to yourself. And meditation every day you must keep as far as possible. Yeah. And then the 5 commandments I also demand you to keep. And that's all you have to do.
Why is initiation limited mostly to people under 65?
Under what? 65, oh yeah. Why do the initiation people have to be under 65? The question is simple. When we are a little bit older than 60 or 65, our brains are no longer so alert. Yeah? Most of the time could not understand the master's teaching. And the vegan diet, a sudden change from flesh eating to the vegan diet at such an old age may cause inconvenience for you. You may not be able to follow. Is that clear? Yeah. Not that I discriminate between ages. If you are a long time vegan already, or if your body is fit and you're willing to take the rigorous practice every day 2.5 hours, yeah, morning and evening, and follow the vegan diet, of course I will also welcome you. But this is the general rule.
So when are you giving initiation? When?
When you give initiation?
Yes.
How many people want to get initiated? If there are enough, we can get it today. Please raise your hand higher so I can see. Okay, then I may give it today. Or in another day. Later we will discuss. The thing is, when we give it today, we are a little bit in a hurry. It's good. And so it might feel a little bit rushed for you. Or you may feel that you have not yet completely understood what my theory is, that's all. But if you're willing, and if you're really, truly sincere, we can make it together today, no problem. It takes a few hours, maybe up to 1 o'clock in the morning, if you can stand it. Is that all right? Yeah? Yeah. It's not just a few minutes. Yeah.
Why are the leaders in Christianity falling? Why do they accentuate the negatives and the punishment?
Why?
They emphasize the
negative and punishment. Why are they falling? Yeah, yeah.
Why they fail?
Oh, yeah, I have told you also, because of ignorance, lack of enlightenment. They have not practiced anything at all. What is the difference between a priest and you? Can you tell me? They also eat animals. People meat, drink wine, and maybe some have women. And you also do the same. And they read the scriptures, and you do every day. So what is the difference between them and you, or any other people? They do not realize that. That is their mistake. Therefore, of course, they can only think negative and punishment, because they do not reach to the love power of God by practicing quiet contemplation on His merciful quality. They only preach and talk, and they repeat the Bible only. Every time you come to the church or in a temple, I don't mean only Christianity, yeah? And then you take out a big book, and then they get out and say, Saint Matthew, such and such, say so and so. And then you chant together and you go home. How do you find God so simple like that? And then they are called priest and father and mother. Oh, master. Oh. If it's so easy to become a priest and master, why don't you all become? I'm surprised and ask myself. I wonder myself. It's so easy to become a missionary, no? You still can marry even. The Protestant priests can also marry. So why haven't you become one, I wonder?
Is eating vegetables a form of killing because they have life like animals?
Yes, yes, it is true. But the life in vegetables is very less. The soul is sleeping. You know, all things are composed of many elements. Yeah, we human beings are composed of the most elements, including soul, ether, earth, metal, wood, yeah, all kinds of these substances together. But the plants consist of water. 90% is water, understand that? And the other substances are very less. And the soul is almost dormant. But then we still take life if we eat a vegetable. Therefore the Buddha said, if you eat anything, even vegetables, you have to consider it like eating your own child's flesh. But what shall we do if we live in this world and not eat anything? We can do that also. But it takes tremendous willpower to overcome the material needs of our body. Some people don't eat anything. There exist such persons, but I do not advise you to do so. First, people will look at you as a Zulu, as some kind of a nut. Yeah? Or if people stream to you, it's only because they are attracted to your non-eating diet. They will overlook your spiritual quality and your highest goal that you want to set before them. Fancy, Qinghai don't eat anything. And then I advertise on the paper, Master Qinghai doesn't eat anything. So many people will flock here. And all day they will ask me, how? Why? Why? How long? You know, how long since? And that's it. And I will have a lot of trouble to tell them, please convert your attention to God and to my topic. It is the Guanyin method. It is life and death. It is serious. It has to be about meditation 2.5 hours. Vegan and all of this, and they won't listen a bit. Because all their attention is diverted to the non-eating diet. And that's it. I know all about it. I know in Taiwan there is one who didn't eat anything for 20 years. And everybody comes there asking the same question. including myself.
Okay. When attacked.
So therefore, excuse me. So even we eat vegan, we also have some karma. It means the influence of the bad effect. So we have to practice this method in order to cleanse out this even minimum karma, so that we can be free and purified.
When confronted with evil, physical or spiritual, such as someone will harm you or destroy you.
No, what is that? I'm sorry.
Okay, when someone will hurt you.
Hurt me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, will you fight back, self-defense, or you just die?
I just die? You must be joking. I won't die just like that. I will run. I won't fight back, but I will run for my life. Yeah. Anybody stupid enough would lay there and die. I won't. Life is precious. I have a lot of things to do. Even if I don't need my body, my disciples do. If I die like that, it's very irresponsible. Of course, we have to do our utmost to protect our life, because life is precious. Without life, we couldn't accomplish anything. We couldn't even come back to God without this human life. We need every minute of our human existence to come nearer to God, to realize our greatest power and our blessing power in order to help other beings who need our help. We may not need this ourselves, but we must acquire it. It is like we don't need money so desperately, but we must have money in order to provide for our kids and our wives and other needy poor persons. Understand that?
Why we must keep vegetarian diet to cultivate ourselves?
Yes. Because we all know God is love and mercy, and Buddha is compassion. If we do not learn to become like them, then how shall we become one with God? How shall we live in heaven, which is a place of love and mercy? We want to learn something, we have to become that. Animal people desire life. They love life. They would run for their life. So we know they desire life. And they love to live like us. We have no right to take away their life by any means. Directly or indirectly, we should not. Now, do you want to get initiation today, or we leave it for another day? Until 1 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow's Friday.
How is tomorrow Friday? You're not working? I'm just afraid it's inconvenient for you, not for myself. I have all the time in the world for you. I live in San Jose. I have no place in San Francisco. I don't know how to meet you. We can do that also, tomorrow afternoon also. Who is for tomorrow afternoon? Please raise your hand.
Tonight.
All right. Yeah, that's it. I'm considering you, not myself. Yeah. All right, then we do it tonight. And whoever cannot do it tonight, please contact us again, and we may arrange it for another day. Is that all right? In San Jose, you have to go to San Jose, and in a farmhouse. Yeah. Huh?
That sounds like fun.
But we have to arrange somebody to meet you and all that. I think we do it tonight, huh? It's the same anyhow. And you go back a little bit late later. Only once in a lifetime. I think you can afford it. Yeah, okay. Then whoever wants to get initiation, please go out and ask for the information outside. And when you come back, we are ready for it. Is that all right? Only once in a lifetime. I think it's not so much problem. But tomorrow you can come to see me also. Tomorrow. After initiation, you can come to see me in the farmhouse and have fun. Yeah. And that is the fun afterward. Anytime you can come. And when I'm still in America. Yeah. Until 31st, you can come to see me. Then ask any question. Okay? Other people can stay and listen to the answer session. Only the one who like initiation would go out.
We also have the next time will be May 27th and May 28th.
Yeah, San Jose is also very
this
near.
Saturday and this Sunday. You are welcome and bring all your friends and relatives to understand more.
Oh, Sunday then we can... Sunday? Is it a lecture on Sunday?
27 is Saturday. 28.
Oh. Oh, Monday is free. So we can make initiation Monday. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Memorial Day is a holiday.
Yeah. Now, any more questions?
Yes. You say God is all, but you never explained who the psychic is. Psychic? Which means?
Sanchit Anand. A psychic. God is all. God is not psychic. Psychic is a lower level of our consciousness. Psychic body and psychic power is not God power, is not the highest power, even though it's also very frightening, very powerful, but it's not the whole. Question?
Do you truly know that you have been blessed and sent by the true God to sincerely help and rescue the lost ones that are not of this earth and universe?
Yes. Completely. I would not tell you otherwise. I fear to go to hell if I tell a lie. I fear God's punishment. I fear His judgment. I fear the Buddha's judgment.
What are demons? The demons?
Demons, yes.
Okay, demons.
They are a little bit lower way of thinking, a lower way of existence, a little bit less loving. That is what's called demons. Less light, less love. These are demons. Anything else? Quickly, we have no time.
How does one meditate? What should be in his or her mind? How does one meditate? Meditate. How do meditation?
I think you take them here. Let me... How does one meditate? What should be in his or her mind? There is nothing that should be in the mind of the meditator. But actually, it's not like that. At the initiation, I may have the time to tell you everything. It's not to answer casually like that, because you won't get it. Second is, why is there an age limit on initiation? I already answered. Yeah, because of the vegan diet, or maybe the enduring power of the body and the mind, and the understanding power is diminished a little bit after some age. But I have told you already, if you are fit enough and willing to endure the disciplines, no problem. All the questioners still here? Yeah? Still want to listen? We have to pass the time anyhow, huh? How do you explain the fact that in the 1940s, scientists proved that there is no ether, or yogis refer to it? What is it and how does it function? It is maybe that the scientists call it by different names. Ether, it is what the Chinese call, I think, qi. You know, it functions invisibly, and you can't just use science to prove it. I disagree with that. The scientists have invented many things, have discovered many things, but there are many things they do not know, and they could not know, and they could not discover. The simple reason is that everyone knows they use only a limited fraction of their mind, or a little part of it. We use only 1/5 or 1/10 of our mind, and we think we know everything. Oh, impossible. Oh, this is very long. I leave it out. When one sees white light during meditation, what does it mean? It's not bad. Seeing light means that there's no darkness. What do you think psychiatrists do to help people with their problems? There are some psychiatrists, but the problems of the mentally disturbed people are deeper than just what the surface looks like. And so the psychiatrists, having not so very deep insight, sometimes by solving the problem, make it worse. Now it's not their fault, but it is the fault of the whole society system. We should make everybody become enlightened, and then everything they do will be in perfect order, because they do it with wisdom, with the inner knowing, not with the limited brain guessing and false data. It's not really from their own knowing, but it's well fed by other thinking, by other psychiatrists, by other doctors, and by other things. At a later date, they prove it is wrong, and it is too late to correct it. Most of the time, it's like that. So don't ask me what they should do. I think they should all practice the Guanyin method. Get enlightened, and then go back to their job, doing a better job, being a better scientist, and helping many more patients in a better way. If you see that your father only believes in the physical things such as science and traditional Western medicine, what are you to do? Must you do nothing when you see that he thinks that all yogis are ignorant? He thinks that if a yogi is great, he must prove it by doing a miracle, such as flying or disappearing. What do I do about this? You know what you do about this? Keep silent and practice. There's nothing we can do about it. But we can, by our own practicing power and vibration, influence our family members. They will become automatically receptive to the higher power in time. By and by they will. In Taiwan, there are many people who, after they became initiated, their family members objected so fiercely, but after they patiently and lovingly practiced for a period of time, their family felt the change and the benefit. They also became all initiated. Before, they objected not only to their daughter or son, but objected to their master, and they even came and threatened me with all kinds of things, and obstructed my mission in all kinds of ways. But later, the whole family came and got initiated. I don't need to fly or disappear. In order to convert them, I use the love power, which is invisible, which is natural. I don't even use it. It is there. It flows 24 hours. And then they get it somehow, and then they appreciate it. And they become devotees by nature, in time. So that's what we have to do. We have to prove to ourselves that we are worthy. No need to debate so much. The more we talk, the more we look. Just wait until the moment comes. Just say one or two words. It may be enough. But we must become a light bearer. We must become an example of love, patience, and wisdom. Then others will smell it. Now we come naturally. Like a flower, it doesn't speak. It attracts bees by its own fragrance and honey. Now, thinking of flying and disappearing, you may even see me doing it. As a matter of fact, you may see it oftentimes. But I will not do it just to convert your father. After he is converted, by his own wisdom and free will, he might see it. Not doing that to convert him is contradictory to my policy and to God's order. Understand that? A master may not do any miraculous power to prove how great he is. The more he proves, the smaller he is. The sun doesn't need to prove anything. He just shines. Those who have eyes will see. If the blind one, you don't need to argue, no? He is blind and you don't need to argue with him. but he will feel also the sunshine on his face and benefit from it. Flying, I don't use this physical body. The master can be anywhere, anytime. Flying in the sky, flying on the lotus, flying to heaven, flying to hell, flying around the world, anytime, anywhere. He, she can do this. This is a childish trick. And the most elementary instrument that the master may use in order to be anywhere to rescue and help his in-need disciples or those who have affinities with him or her. There's nothing to demonstrate and to talk about. This is our small action. And disappearing, you may even see it now, but because your eyes are so obstructed, you only see my physical body. You see nothing else. If you really have a wisdom eye, you might not even see me talking. You only see light here. The whole room is light, nothing else. No person. Even all of the audience will disappear in this light. So this is real disappearing. And if you see some of my photos, you don't see me, you only see light there. People photograph, they don't see the master, only see a big light. The person disappears. And most of my photos are like that. It is a disappearing, no need to prove anymore. The cameras can prove it. And sometimes on the stage there is no master. That is disappearing. Because in reality there is no master. No one. No sentient beings. No existence. Only light, vibration, and love. And a sense of togetherness. Now is that alright? Everybody loves to see flying and doesn't practice. If you practice with me after a while, I promise you can see me flying and disappearing. No difficulty. If you don't practice, I won't do it. Not for you to look at. We are not in a circus. Please, may I receive your every blessing and avoid all forms that would cause me to be less than me or what I am. The way to get blessing is to bless yourself with your own inner power. And I know how to do it, and I can tell you how to do it. No one can bless you except yourself. He can only help. He can lend you some of his radiation, some of his love and power to lift you up to a higher consciousness, but not completely. If you are not willing to bless yourself with your own blessing power, yeah? Otherwise, Jesus would have blessed the whole world. We would not have to crawl around here until now. Otherwise, Buddha would have blessed the whole of at least India, the whole India, and taken them to Nirvana. As you see for yourself, Buddha has become Buddha, and the Indian people have still been ignorant. Most of them. So no one can bless anyone. No doubt when a master comes to earth, she or he will bring with them a great blessing from God. And the place where she lives, or where he lives, or wherever he goes, is marked by his blessing power and becomes different in outlook and in consciousness. But that is only a small part. Each person has to bless himself. That's it. I'm sorry. What is that? Sumo or sumo wrestler? Is sumo a Buddha? May I know how to become a sumo master? What is self-esteem? Or shall a person live without religions? What is a sumo? What is that? I don't know what is sumo. What is that for? Wrestling. It's sumo a Buddha. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has Buddha nature in him, but he's far from being a Buddha, I'm sorry. Takes a long time. Self-esteem, I think it's self-respect. knowing where your goodness is, and you can respect yourself. But this is difficult. To really have self-respect, one must practice, knowing the great power within. Shall a person live without religions? Yes and no. Yes, because most religions do not teach people how to get enlightened. Therefore, just repeat the boring doctrines without understanding the meaning, without bringing them into practice. Therefore, the Christian people preach to people, you have to love thy neighbor, and then they go and fight with the Protestants. For example, not all Christians are like that. I mean only that they cannot bring it into practice because they lack perseverance power within, lack the real God power. They cannot do it even though they wish to. So, if you can live with religion, then live with it. If you want to live without, then live without. By all means, be a good person. Be a virtuous person, and that is a religious person. Whatever religious group you join, or whatever, or if you're without religion, if you're a good person, you don't steal, you don't lie, you don't harm others, and you try to be a good citizen. And that is a religious person. Yeah? This is in Chinese. You are truly an enlightened person and have more to offer than words. Learned from the masters.
Yes, the word games learned from.
The words gained. Learned from the masters. Thank you. Why did this separation take place from God? Oh, yes. I told you, because we are too busy. If someone's talking to you on the telephone keeps ringing, and you are cooking and you're busy chatting with other people, then that person cannot get in touch with you. Is that right? Same thing. God is telephoning every day, every minute, and you have no time for Him. You keep Him hanging on the line. That's how the separation takes place. Now, if you want to be united with Him again, then take time. Give Him 1/10 of your daily time to communicate with Him. Surely you will get no more separation. When one sees white light during meditation, it's already. What do you think? Why were we all separated from the word or the name of Buddha, on God and nature in the beginning? I tell you, we have never been separated. We are in there. We have it inside, outside, inside out, upside down. We all have this God and Buddha nature. Just that we are too busy. We blind ourselves with worldly obligations and jobs, and so we do not know where God is. For example, sometimes you have glasses on your hand, your eyes glasses, and then you go around looking for it. Is that not so? Yeah, similar like that. If we are too busy, we forget many things. Or sometimes we are too busy, even if our loved ones come, we don't see it. Is that not so? Or we have the television on, and then we're too busy thinking of something else. We don't even see the acting. Or we talking to the next person, and we don't know what the television is about. That's not true. So when we have God inside and we have no time for Him, then no doubt we don't see Him. That's it. Now I can unite you again with this word or with this God. So no need to ask why, but how to be united again. Now, if we cannot follow all your rules and decide that we will not take initiation now, is there some form of meditation you can share with us to help us? Sometimes my mind wanders or my mind dwells on past events, replaying past events. Is there any method you can share with those who will not take initiation now? Also, when you become vegan and clean your system, won't this make you more sensitive to the air pollution and other non-poor substances and people who are not clean? When you live in the countryside, it is not so stressful. But city life is very stressful. How to purify and not become so overwhelmed, vulnerable? It is like this. Like, yes, there are some other kinds of meditation. Is the person here? You can try to be as much vegan as possible. Yeah, that would help you. Even to be in a polluted area, to be vegan is more immutable. You must know that. The vegan people are less sick than the meat-eating people. So instead, it gives you the protection. Yeah, and your mind will be calmer, and you will think less. That's the good of the vegan diet. Not only the mercy quality. Why? Because we forgive, we don't take an other's life, then our lives are also not at stake. Understand that? It's a law of karma, cause and effect. So if we forgive others, others will forgive us. So we'll be more peaceful at heart. We have no guilty conscience, no guilty feeling. So that's what makes our mind peaceful. That's very logical thinking about being vegan.